What's up guys, my name is Hutch, and I make videos and put them on the internet. So in case you guys missed it last week, I did a video called So You're Having an Existential Crisis, where I talked about existential angst, depression, things like that, and I gave my feedback on some things that helped me out along the way with that kind of stuff. And I think I'm liking the regular Friday vlog format where I talk about things that I have personal experience with. So if you guys have any suggestions for topics that you'd like me to cover, feel free to comment. So your ... and it's YOU''RE. It's not the possessive your. Anyways, so your ... and then write out anything that comes to mind. Maybe it's something that you're struggling with. Maybe it's something that you're just curious about. But if it's something I have experience with and is interesting to me, then I will talk about it. And this week I decided to talk about something that I saw a lot of comments on the last time, which is so you're socially awkward. So here we go. I'm going to talk about it right now. Actually, before I talk about that, let's back up a little bit, and I'm gonna focus my eye contact on you guys, because the last time I didn't have like a Wikipedia page open. I wasn't reading off of a website or anything like that. I did write down like a loose script, and I wanted to, because I have a tendency to just rant and ramble, and I want to keep things sort of on track. But the feedback that I got was that I was doing too much of this and not enough of this, so I'm just going to try and shoot from the hip on this one and see how it goes. If you guys prefer that, let me know. So you're socially awkward. So you're the guy that stands in a group of people and then hears something and then thinks of something clever to say, but you can't quite find the right time to jump in and say it, so you wait like 2 minutes to say it. But by that time, the topic's already changed, but you say it anyways, and then everyone just kind of looks at you, and you're just kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs. And you go home and you think about that awkward social interaction for the rest of the night. Spend like 6 hours in your head wondering what you could have said differently. Maybe you're worried about what people think of you now. Maybe you get depressed that night and think that you don't have any friends and nobody likes you. So you're socially awkward. As far as personal experience goes with being socially awkward, I think that I have had times in my life where I felt like I was super awkward. But I'm 29 years old now, and I can't say that I feel that way now. It's just my perspective's changed, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But there are very few things that make me uncomfortable. I feel like I've been witness to and been a part of a lot of experiences socially that that have pushed my boundaries of what I'm comfortable with, and at this point it really takes a lot to make me feel awkward. But that wasn't the case. When I was younger, I felt awkward all the time, particularly in high school, and then when I was maybe my early 20s, I had a hard time sort of navigating social situations in a way that I was comfortable with or I felt confident about. But I think that social awkwardness comes from extreme hyper self-awareness, when you can't stop focusing on yourself. Like whenever you talk, you try to imagine how others see you in that situation and how they're going to take what you're saying. So instead of saying things that just come naturally and having organic conversation, you end up trying to walk this tightrope, this self-imposed tightrope of social norms and whether or not you fit into those things. So as far as I can tell, I think there's 3 ways to address social awkwardness. So the first suggestion that I would make towards addressing social awkwardness, if you're at a point in your life where you really want to proactively address it, simply paying attention to other people and trying to pick up and adopt their mannerisms. Now this is one that I would suggest the least out of all 3 because it's not very authentic. But for some people, they've been raised in an environment where there wasn't really a whole lot of social interaction, so they are literally clueless as how to have basic conversation or how to interact with other human beings in a way that's rewarding or fun or fulfilling, or that facilitates human relationships and fosters friendships and things like that. Some people are just completely clueless. So for those people, it might work for them. You just simply pay attention to what other people do and then try to emulate that the best that you can. Now, this is one that I would suggest the least out of all these 3, but for some people this works, so there's that. The second suggestion that I would give to people that are feeling socially awkward or uncomfortable is to surround yourself with people that complement your awkwardness. I don't mean literally follow you around and say like, you know what, I really like your awkwardness, it's awesome. I'm not talking about that kind of compliment. I'm talking about the sort of compliment that brings out the best in you. Not like a verbal compliment, like they're there to bring out the best of you. And that could be kind of tricky because some people just don't know how to meet people. But we are living in the age of the internet and forums and anonymity and things that make it easier for shy people to make relationships. So I would hit the forums, go to meetup.com and just start going places and try to find a group of people that brings out a side of you that while it may be awkward, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Awkward isn't always a bad thing. I'm friends with a guy who is by far the most awkward individual I have ever met in my entire life, and this guy pulls tail like you would not believe. Now, granted, he has a freakishly large penis. I mean, it's hard to describe the shock and awe that I was put in when he walked into my room one day wearing nothing but his girlfriend's corset. I mean, this thing is like a fucking tripod. It's disturbingly large, but nonetheless, he is one of the most awkward individuals I've ever met, and he has no problem finding girls that would have sex with him. And the third way that I would address social awkwardness kind of ties in with the second way that I was talking about a minute ago, but it's not exactly the same thing. Is just to embrace the awkwardness. I think that it's kind of a slippery slope when you start going down this road of trying to figure out what social norms are, because there really aren't a whole lot of social norms. I mean, there's certain things that you just maybe don't do, like walk up to someone you don't know and say, hey, fuck you. That's probably a good example of something not to do. But as far as what to talk about, how to talk about it, things like that, I don't think there's a whole lot of rules. You can be whatever you want to be, and I guarantee you that there are a lot of people out there that are just like you. So embracing the awkward, there's a certain liberation that comes from that. You don't really need to worry about what everybody thinks of you if you just accept the fact that you are awkward and be cool with that. I think there's a market for awkward. There's some guys that like really awkward girls. There's some girls that really like awkward guys. There's some guys that really like awkward guys, and some girls that really like awkward girls. I think the idea of there being like a normal thing, like a normal mode of operation for human beings is starting to diminish and dwindle as we progress as a species. I just don't see it as being that imperative that you try and mold yourself to something that you think that a massive amount of people are going to appreciate or like, because that's changing all the time. There's so much variety and diversity these days that there's really no point in trying to fit yourself into one particular category. So I think embracing the awkward is I mean, that's sort of, I mean, like that one and the second one, I surrounded myself with people that I didn't feel self-conscious around, that I felt like I could be myself and that was okay. And then the third one, just accepting who I was, just kind of came naturally as a result of that. And now, like today, I would call myself socially awkward in some situations. Like the LA scene, I did not fit in that scene whatsoever. Like, it's very schmoozy and networky, and it's about who you know. And I don't know how to have those conversations. I just don't. I draw a blank. And a lot of the times I would just get really quiet because I didn't have a whole lot to say, which is, I guess, another suggestion that I would. That's the fourth one. I'm going to add another one on here. Fourth one. Maybe you're just shy. Maybe you're just quiet, and you feel pressure to talk all the time. What about being quiet? There's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of times when I've been extremely quiet in big, large social situations because I felt like I didn't have anything productive to offer that situation or that environment. And I think there's freedom that comes from that too. Just enjoy the silence and be okay with that, and trust that other people that are well-adjusted and accepting people aren't going to have a problem with you being quiet. That's just who you are, and that's totally fine. So yeah, maybe you're just introverted. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some people are way more productive in a setting that's more isolated than integrated with other people. Some people thrive more. Some people they're more creative. They get more shit done when they're by themselves as opposed to with other people. And maybe you fall into that category. Now that can lead to a lot of loneliness because I think people at their core do need social interaction. They do need real relationships, but how much or how little you want to limit that is totally up to you. And the older that you get, the more you just kind of figure that stuff out. And it gets easier. So there's that. So that's going to do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my little rant, a little nonsensical diatribe about social awkwardness. If you guys have any, once again, if you guys have any suggestions for a topic for next week, go ahead and leave in the comments section below. Have a good Friday. Have a safe weekend. I'm out of here. Peace out.